There was a man, 68 years old, who thought his best days were behind him, until a simple change in his diet brought back something he hadn't felt in years: powerful natural erections. And the secret? Not pills, not surgery, just 4 fruits. I'm Dr. James, a men's health specialist with over 30 years of experience helping older men reignite their strength, confidence, and intimacy without drugs or embarrassment. I've seen lives change with nothing more than the right food choices. Most men over 60 think declining performance is inevitable. But what if I told you that certain fruits, ones you may already have in your kitchen, contain natural compounds that restore blood flow, increase nitric oxide, and support the very function that makes erections possible? In this video, I'll show you exactly which 4 fruits can make a real difference in your intimate health. No gimmicks, no nonsense. Just simple, science-backed nourishment that can help you feel more like the man you used to be, and maybe even better. But don't just grab the nearest fruit yet. One of these 4 can actually make things worse if eaten the wrong way. I'll explain which one, how to use it correctly, and why timing matters more than you think. Stay with me. This could change everything. Now, let me introduce you to the first fruit, one that can truly help restore your vitality, boost circulation, and reignite your confidence in the bedroom. 1. Pomegranate, the natural Viagra fruit. When I first started recommending pomegranate to my older male patients, many of them laughed. "Doc, you're telling me fruit can do what those little blue pills do?" I smiled. "Try it for 2 weeks and tell me how you feel." And they did. What followed were phone calls, handshakes, even tears from men who hadn't felt that kind of strength in years. There's something deeply personal about a man reclaiming his power, not just physically, but emotionally. And pomegranate has played that role for thousands of men over 60. What makes pomegranate so special isn't some marketing gimmick, it's real science. This fruit is packed with antioxidants that support endothelial function, which is essential for healthy blood vessels. As we age, our arteries harden, our circulation weakens, and the flow that once came naturally now struggles to reach where it needs to. But pomegranate helps reverse that. It boosts nitric oxide, the same compound that medications like Viagra target. Except this comes from nature. No side effects, no dependence, just real, gradual improvement. I remember one patient, 74 years old, who told me he hadn't experienced a spontaneous erection in over a decade. He began drinking a small glass of pure pomegranate juice every morning. No sugar added, just the real thing. Within weeks, he felt more energized. Within months, his confidence in the bedroom had returned. "It's not just about sex," he told me. "It's about feeling like myself again." That's the quiet gift of this fruit. It doesn't just improve blood flow, it restores a man's connection to his body. You may notice other things too: better memory, sharper thinking, even lower blood pressure. Because once circulation improves, everything improves. But there's a catch. Not all pomegranate products are created equal. The juice must be pure, unsweetened, and consumed regularly. This isn't a one-time fix, it's a shift in how you nourish your body. Think of it like watering a plant. You don't flood it once and expect it to bloom forever. You tend to it every day, and little by little it comes back to life. So if you've never given pomegranate a real try, or if you wrote it off as just another health trend, it may be time to take a second look. Sometimes the simplest answers are the most powerful ones. And speaking of simple solutions with big results, wait until you hear what watermelon can do, especially when it's eaten at the right time. 2. Watermelon, the blood flow enhancer. I still remember the look on a patient's face when I told him watermelon might help his erections. "You mean the picnic fruit?" he asked, half laughing, but his laughter turned to quiet reflection when I explained what was inside that bright red flesh. Watermelon contains an amino acid called citrulline, and citrulline is powerful. It relaxes blood vessels, boosts circulation, and supports the kind of strong, lasting blood flow that men over 60 often start to lose. It's not about making promises that sound too good to be true. It's about understanding that the body still wants to function at its best. It just needs the right support. There's something humbling about realizing that nature, in its simplicity, has already provided many of the tools we need to heal. Citrulline gets converted into arginine, and that fuels nitric oxide. Yes, the same molecule behind most prescription treatments for erectile dysfunction. The difference? Watermelon is gentle. It works with your body, not against it. No harsh side effects. No sudden spikes or crashes. Just steady, natural improvement over time. One man, 70 years old, told me he started eating a cup of watermelon every morning after our talk. At first, he noticed little things: warmer hands, better sleep, fewer cramps in his legs, but a month later he told me something else. "Doctor," he said, "I woke up feeling alive again, and not just mentally." I didn't need him to explain further. I knew what he meant. Watermelon doesn't work like a switch, it's more like a tide coming in. Slowly, steadily, it rebuilds what time may have worn down. The key is to eat it fresh, in moderation, and away from heavy meals so the nutrients can do their work. If you're diabetic, keep an eye on portion sizes. But for most older men, a small daily serving can be a gentle nudge toward restored function and self-trust. And perhaps that's the most overlooked part of this journey, not just improving performance, but restoring belief in your body's ability to respond, to rise, to connect. It's not just about blood flow, it's about hope. Now, if you think watermelon is impressive, wait until you hear what these tiny blueberries can do. Not just for your blood vessels, but for your brain, your balance, and yes, your bedroom. 3. Blueberries, the circulation secret. It was a quiet afternoon when one of my longtime patients, a soft-spoken retired math teacher in his mid-60s, leaned forward and asked me something many men are afraid to say out loud. Is there any way to get things working again, Raton, without medication? He wasn't just asking about erections, he was asking about feeling like himself again, energized, capable, and connected. I nodded and said, "Start with blueberries." Blueberries may seem small, even insignificant, but what they hold inside is nothing short of remarkable. These little fruits are rich in flavonoids, natural compounds that protect your blood vessels, fight inflammation, and keep the pathways of your circulation clear and strong. And when you're over 60, good circulation isn't just about your heart, it's about your brain, your muscles, and yes, your ability to achieve and maintain a firm erection. The science is clear. Men who eat flavonoid-rich fruits like blueberries several times a week have a significantly lower risk of developing erectile dysfunction. Not just because they improve blood flow, but because they target the root cause of decline: stiffened arteries, poor endothelial function, and a lack of nitric oxide. Blueberries help bring that balance back gently, naturally, and powerfully. But what really convinces me isn't just the studies, it's the stories. One gentleman in his late 60s told me he began eating a small bowl of blueberries every morning with breakfast. At first, nothing dramatic happened, but over time, he felt more alert. He began walking more. His blood pressure improved, and one morning, without warning or stress, his body responded the way it used to decades ago. "I didn't expect that," he said. "I didn't think it could come back." That moment, that quiet return of something lost, is deeply personal. It's not about performance for performance's sake. It's about feeling alive, desirable, and in control again. And blueberries, in their humble way, can help unlock that door. So if you've overlooked them in the past, thinking they're just a topping for cereal or a treat for kids, think again. They might just be one of your strongest allies for better blood flow and better living. And if blueberries sound surprising, just wait until we talk about the fruit that's actually packed with healthy fats and fuels your hormones in ways most men never expect. Yes, it's green. Yes, it's creamy. And yes, it might just be your best-kept secret weapon. 4. Avocados, the hormone booster. If you had told me 30 years ago that one of the most powerful tools for men's vitality was hiding in a soft, green fruit, often mashed on toast, I would have raised an eyebrow. But after decades of working with older men and witnessing firsthand how hormones shift with age, I've come to appreciate the quiet strength of the avocado. It's not flashy, it doesn't shout for attention, but inside it carries the nutrients your body desperately needs, especially after 60. You see, what many men don't realize is that testosterone, the hormone most closely tied to sexual function, begins to decline gradually with age. That decline doesn't just affect desire, it impacts energy, confidence, mood, and muscle tone. Avocados support healthy testosterone production because they're rich in monounsaturated fats, vitamin B6, magnesium, and even potassium. These aren't just fancy nutrients on a label, they're fuel for your body's hormonal engine. I remember one man in his early 70s who came to me feeling like his drive, both physical and mental, had flatlined. He wasn't sleeping well, his motivation was low, and intimacy had become something he remembered rather than experienced. I encouraged him to add half an avocado to his diet each day. No other changes, just that. Within weeks, he noticed his sleep improving, his mood lifted, and eventually his confidence in the bedroom returned. "I thought I was just getting old," he told me. "Turns out I was just underfed in all the right ways." Avocados do more than support testosterone. They nourish your heart, stabilize blood sugar, and help your body absorb fat-soluble vitamins like D and E, both of which play critical roles in male sexual health. They also keep you fuller longer, helping maintain a healthy weight, which is directly tied to better hormone balance and performance. And perhaps more importantly, they're a symbol of something bigger, that healing doesn't always come from a pharmacy. Sometimes it comes from your plate, from making intentional, thoughtful choices about how you nourish the body you still live in and rely on every day. So if you've dismissed avocados as just another trendy health food, think again. For older men looking to reclaim energy, drive, and hormonal balance, this fruit may be one of the simplest yet most powerful allies in your corner. And now that you've discovered all four, let's take a step back, because when used together, these fruits don't just work individually. They create a ripple effect of vitality across your entire body. Let's review the power of four. 5. Let's review the power of four. After working with countless men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, I've learned something powerful. Reviving intimacy and confidence doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to involve prescriptions, painful side effects, or silent suffering. Often it begins with food, real food, nature's quiet medicine. Let's look at what you've now uncovered. Pomegranate helps open blood vessels and wake up circulation. Watermelon nudges nitric oxide levels and restores flow. Blueberries protect your arteries and keep the blood moving where it needs to go. And avocados support your testosterone and keep your hormones steady and strong. Each one of these fruits plays a unique role, but together they form a foundation of renewal. You don't have to overhaul your entire life, just start. Add one fruit to your daily rhythm. Build from there. With consistency, these small changes begin to rebuild the spark many men assume is gone forever. And remember, this journey isn't just physical, it's emotional. Every step forward restores more than function. It restores your belief in what's possible. This isn't about chasing youth. It's about honoring the body you've earned and giving it the fuel it deserves to thrive on your terms. These four fruits aren't a miracle. They're a message. You're not finished yet. But as you move forward, be careful, because just as there are foods that help, there are habits that can quietly undo your progress. Now let's talk about what not to do, because even healthy changes can backfire if you're making these common mistakes. 6. What not to do. After seeing so many men take hopeful steps toward better health, it's painful to watch them unknowingly sabotage their progress with small but critical mistakes. You might be eating the right fruits, doing all the right things, but if you're not careful, certain habits can quietly work against you, slowly draining the very energy you're trying to restore. One of the most common mistakes I see is overdoing it. Just because something is healthy doesn't mean more is better. A man once told me he was drinking pomegranate juice 5 times a day, thinking it would speed things up. Instead, he ended up with blood sugar spikes, digestive issues, and frustration. Moderation is where the magic is. These fruits are powerful, but they need to work with your body's rhythm, not overwhelm it. Another hidden trap is mixing the good with the bad. I've seen men sprinkle blueberries onto sugar-packed cereal or blend watermelon into syrupy smoothies. Doing this doesn't just cancel the benefits, it can actually create inflammation, the very thing we're trying to reduce. The point isn't just to eat these fruits, it's to eat them mindfully, without burying them under processed sugar or artificial junk. And perhaps the biggest mistake, expecting overnight change. This isn't a quick fix. This is a lifestyle, or return to the slow, steady wisdom of feeding your body what it needs with patience and respect. You didn't lose strength overnight. You won't rebuild it that way either. But when you do it right, when you stay consistent, the results speak for themselves. Now, before we close, let's talk about the real heart of this journey, because it's not just about food, it's about possibility. Let me leave you with a few final thoughts that could change the way you age forever. Final thoughts. This isn't about perfection. It's about possibility. If there's one truth I hope you take with you, it's this. Your age is not a finish line. It's not a limit, not a label, and certainly not a reason to stop striving for better. Too many people are taught to expect decline after 60. Society quietly whispers that we should slow down, settle, and surrender. But I want to offer something different. The idea that this chapter of your life can be one of strength, vibrancy, intimacy, and growth. Not because of magic or miracle cures, but because you choose to make it so. The truth is, things like energy, sexual vitality, confidence, and muscle strength don't vanish overnight. They slowly fade when we stop nourishing them, when we start thinking it's too late. But the incredible part, the moment you choose to start feeding those parts of yourself again, physically, emotionally, nutritionally, something remarkable happens. You begin to rebuild, not to chase youth, but to reclaim power. Power over your body, power over your story. And no, this isn't about being perfect. No one expects that from you, not now, not ever. You don't need to adopt a rigid lifestyle or turn your world upside down. The path forward is simpler and far more forgiving. It starts with intention, a decision to care, a piece of fruit rich in antioxidants added to your morning, a 5-minute stretch before bed, a walk in the sunshine, a moment of stillness to check in with yourself. These small acts add up. They compound and they transform you from within. I've watched men in their late 70s rediscover their spark. I've seen them get stronger, laugh more, reconnect with their partners, and feel more alive than they did decades ago. Not because they reversed time, but because they stopped giving up on themselves. You don't need big, bold changes to make a difference. What you need is consistency, self-respect, a quiet determination to keep showing up even when the mirror or the numbers on a report say otherwise. That's where the real breakthroughs come from, not from perfection, but from persistence. So if you're ready to take that first real step today, know this. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not starting from zero. You're starting from wisdom, from experience, from a life already rich with lessons and strength. And that, my friend, is your superpower. You still have possibility. You still have potential. And starting today, you can choose to reach for it. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.